Look at this. Look at this. See that? Physically grabbing her, applying pressure, pushing her. Look at Brittany Griner.
It always starts the same way, doesn't it? A highlight, a moment that should have been about basketball. But this time, what we're looking at isn't a highlight at all. It's evidence, clear as day. A superstar being grabbed, pushed, manhandled like she was stepping into a wrestling ring instead of a WNBA court. And the superstar at the center of it all? Caitlin Clark, the golden goose, the ratings magnet, the one player who pulled women's basketball out of the shadows and into prime time. Now she's the one limping off, sidelined with an injury that never should have happened. And the worst part? The footage shows this wasn't some freak accident. This was targeted.
Be here with you guys today. If there wasn't any worry going on in the WNBA executive offices, if there was no worry, oh, people aren't going to turn off, oh, people are still going to show up, if that was the thought that they were having up there in WNBA La La Land, well, now might be the time to hit the panic button. 48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks, the market has responded and the market has told the WNBA, we don't want this. We want her, but we don't want this. What am I talking about? Indiana Fever ticket prices to games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement, an average ticket price of $137, all the way down to
Deliberate
$80.
And completely ignored by the people whose only job is to protect the face of the league. The Fever call it a quad strain. 2 weeks, maybe 3. She'll be back, they say. But anyone who's followed Clark, who's watched her play night after night since Iowa, knows better. This isn't just an injury. This is a body finally giving out after weeks of being battered, shoved, and hacked, while referees swallowed their whistles. And you know what makes this hit even harder? Clark hasn't missed a game since 2017. That's right. Not in high school, not at Iowa, not in her rookie WNBA season. 185 straight games.
She's horrible. She wants rivalries, this WWE style. Like, nobody wants to see that, Kathy. You're a horrible commissioner. You know what? Have some dignity and just resign today. You ruined this thing. You ruined a great thing. This could be the first time you don't need the NBA assistants to go in the green. But you're going to go in the red this year because you're an idiot. You're stupid, and the fans don't like this shit. We want to see quality basketball. Nobody's asking for Caitlin Clark to get a handout. We just want to see some fair refereeing, because these referees from Temu and Wayfair, they're garbage, bro. I've seen better refereeing at a Pee Wee game, bro, at AAU. They suck. And then on top of that, the players, they're just not likable, man. They're not. That's the problem with the league. They're not likable. Caitlin Clark's likable.
A streak that's unheard of in today's game. And it ends here. Not because of bad luck, but because the WNBA let their biggest star take cheap shot after cheap shot until her leg finally said enough. But let's rewind for a second, because the story of this injury didn't start on May 26th when the Indiana Fever made the announcement. No, the cracks were already there weeks earlier. Reporters like Scott Agnes noticed Clark wearing pads, massaging her leg during warm-ups, even using heating packs mid-game just to keep herself moving. Think about that. A 22-year-old phenom who's supposed to be the league's future, already treating herself like a 35-year-old veteran, trying to squeeze out one last playoff run. Fans at the games were pointing it out in real time, saying Clark didn't look right, that she seemed to be dragging her leg, that her shot didn't have the same lift. And yet night after night she kept suiting up, kept playing, kept carrying the WNBA on her back while everyone else looked the other way. Then came the footage. The smoking gun. Atlanta Dream, May 2025. You don't even need commentary. You just watch the tape and it tells you everything. Grabbing her jersey, wrapping her arm, shoving her off balance. Hands on her hips, elbows to the ribs, every trick in the book. And where were the whistles? Silent. Where were the refs? Standing a few feet away, staring right at it, and choosing not to call a thing.
Caitlin Clark has been moving in slow motion. As good as she's been moving in slow motion. And it is, it makes sense. It genuinely makes sense. All of this stuff. And you've got Scott Agnes, a reporter, saying that the injury has been bothering her since training camp. So she's been playing. So essentially, she was massaging the area and wearing a pad during the Iowa preseason game. They're saying lower leg injury for some reason, minor quad strains, need 2 to 4 weeks of rest, and they and they can nag you.
Imagine if this happened to LeBron in his second year. Imagine if Steph Curry was grabbed like that. The league would have blown the whistle before the player even made contact. But with Clark, nothing. It wasn't just a missed call, it was a pattern. A permission slip for defenders to take liberties with the one player every ticket buyer came to see. And that's the heart of this problem. This isn't basketball anymore. This is selective enforcement. Coach Stephanie White saw it and called it out, saying the officiating has been flat-out egregious, minus 31 in free throws. Think about that, minus 31. The Fever weren't just chucking threes. They were driving, attacking, going to the rim. Clark herself was getting knocked around every possession, yet the whistles stayed silent. And the cherry on top? That Liberty game. Final possession. Natasha Cloud makes obvious contact, Clark goes flying, no call. Ball game. Clark looks at the refs in disbelief. Her teammates rush in, the entire Fever bench protests, and the refs just walk away like nothing happened. And that's not a one-off. That's the WNBA saying loud and clear. We don't care if you hit her, we don't care if you foul her, play through it. But here's the thing. That decision, that negligence comes with a price tag. And now the league is paying.
How big of a blow is this to the W?
We'll find out. We don't know yet, but I'm going to be really, really interested in seeing, Molly, what kind of effect this has on the WNBA's ratings. Because if for some reason there is a precipitous drop-off, then everybody needs to stand down and recognize the fact that the speculation or the assertions and assumptions about
Clark
her being
isn't just another player. She's the draw. She's the reason ESPN started airing preseason games. She's the reason 41 of the Fever's 44 games this year are on national TV. She's the reason hotel bookings in Indianapolis spike every time there's a home game. She's the reason a $75 million practice facility is being built. And yet the league couldn't even be bothered to protect her from cheap shots. Now what? Now she's gone for at least 2 weeks, maybe longer, and we're already seeing the fallout. Ticket prices for Fever games? Down 42% in just 48 hours. The highly anticipated Clark versus Angel Reese rematch? Crashed. Average ticket price dropped from $137 to $80. That's not a minor dip. That's fans saying if Clark's not there, we're not interested. TV ratings tell the same story. In 2024, of the 24 WNBA games that crossed 1 million viewers, Clark was in 21 of them. Games with her averaged 1.19 million. Games without her, barely 400,000. Do the math. That's the difference between a league on the rise and a league nobody's watching. And now the WNBA is about to find out what those numbers look like for 2 straight weeks, without their only real draw. Stephen A. Smith said it best. He said he's interested in seeing how the ratings look without Clark. But
there is literally footage of Caitlin Clark putting heat compression towards her leg. There is literally footage of her putting heat packs on her leg. There is new footage of her heating up her quad when she's playing. And by the way, people have been at games. I've been getting, if you look like my comment section, I don't read my comment section that much, I'm going to be honest, but some of the times where I have read my comment section, people have genuinely been like, I'm at the game, Caitlin Clark does not look right on the sideline. Caitlin Clark is coming out, she has heat compression on her quad. She was playing injured.
We already know they're going to tank. And when they do, the league will have no one to blame but themselves, because they didn't protect their investment. They didn't protect the one player holding the whole thing together. And let's not forget what else this does. Clark was the MVP favorite. Her odds dropped instantly after the injury. FanDuel went from even money to plus 210. DraftKings had her at plus 150. That's not just a shift in betting markets. That's the entire season's narrative being rewritten overnight. And more importantly, it ends her Iron Woman streak. Since 2017, Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a single game. 8 years of perfect attendance, high school, college, pros, and now it's over. Not because of wear and tear, not because of age, but because the league refused to protect her. What makes it all sting even more is just how much she's already done. This isn't just about basketball. Caitlin Clark is an economic engine. When she played a preseason game against Brazil at Iowa, 1.3 million people tuned in. Do you know how insane that is? That's more viewers than most NBA games get in November. That's more viewers than any WNBA Finals game in the last decade. For a preseason exhibition, she's been moving the needle in ways no other player has. Selling out arenas, doubling ticket prices, pushing merchandise, getting corporate sponsorships.
Look at this. Look at how physical they are. Now, granted, Caitlin Clark has been in the weight room this season, but I'm telling you right now, there's only so much your body can take, man. Look at how close Ryan Howard playing her. This is crazy. And this is just one video. I got another one I want to show you.
$1 billion figure attached to her impact. And all of it hinges on her being on the court, which means every time the refs let someone throw her to the ground, they're not just risking her health, they're risking the league's future. But the commissioner doesn't see it that way, apparently. Kathy Engelbert has been called the worst commissioner in sports, and moments like this show why. She talks about rivalries, about drama, about WWE-style entertainment. But fans don't want to see Caitlin Clark get mauled. They don't want to see her pushed into the stands. They want to see her shoot from the logo, drop dimes, and change the game. That's what people are paying for. Instead, Engelbert's chasing this idea that the league needs to be edgy, physical, controversial. Well, congratulations, you got the controversy. Now deal with the fallout. The upcoming schedule makes this even worse. The Fever were supposed to face the Sky, that
easily
rematch.
eclipse $1 billion on her economic impact. Caitlin Clark entering the league last year was responsible for 26.5% of all of their economic activity. So revenue from merchandise, which again, with the CBA as it is currently, she doesn't see a dime of any of that. TV, and then ticket sales, obviously, which again, they don't get anything from that. We know that wherever she goes, she's selling at arenas. The ticket prices skyrocket. Like even trying to get tickets to cover Hawkeye Arena when they played the Brazilian national team at her old school was just insane prices. If she's going on the road, wherever she's going, ticket sales jump by 140%.
The one everyone circled. Clark versus Reese. Instead, fans get Reese versus backup guards while Clark rehabs. That's not a rivalry. That's a letdown. And it's going to show up in the numbers. Already, resale ticket markets are cratering. Already, casual fans are tuning out. And if the ratings collapse without Clark, that's going to be the proof. Undeniable proof was that the WNBA is riding one player's coattails. So what now? That's the $1 million question. Or really, the $1 billion question. Does the league finally wake up and say, we need to protect this woman. We need to give her the superstar whistle she deserves. Or do they keep pretending it's not a problem? Because here's the truth. This isn't just about Clark. It's about the entire model. Every sport protects its stars. LeBron got the whistle. Kobe got the whistle. Jordan lived at the line. Because leagues understand, fans don't come to see their heroes get hacked to pieces. They come to see greatness shine. And if the WNBA can't figure that out, they're going to lose everything Clark built for them in a single season. Let's be honest. Without Clark, this league slips right back into irrelevance. The Fever knew it when they drafted her. ESPN knew it when they scheduled all those broadcasts. The hotels knew it when they doubled their bookings. Corporate America knew it when they cut sponsorship checks. Everybody knows it. So the question isn't whether Clark matters. The question is whether the league is smart enough to protect her. And that's why this whole situation feels like a turning point. Because if they don't learn, if this happens again, if Clark comes back only to get battered into another injury, fans aren't going to stick around. They'll move on. And the WNBA will go right back to empty arenas, low ratings and begging the NBA for funding. This is bigger than one player missing 2 weeks. This is a referendum on how the league treats its stars. So here's the bottom line. Caitlin Clark didn't just go down with a quad strain. She went down because the league let her get targeted. She went down because referees refused to blow the whistle. She went down because the WNBA doesn't understand the value of what it has. And now for the next 2 weeks, maybe longer, we're all about to see what the WNBA looks like without her. The numbers won't lie. The ticket prices won't lie. The TV ratings won't lie. And when they collapse, as they will, maybe then the league will finally realize you don't build an empire by letting your queen get attacked. You protect her at all costs, because without her, there is no game. Let's be honest. Without Clark, this league slips right back into irrelevance. The Fever knew it when they drafted her. ESPN knew it when they scheduled all those broadcasts. The hotels knew it when they doubled their bookings. Corporate America knew it when they cut sponsorship checks. Everybody knows it. So the question isn't whether Clark matters. The question is whether the league is smart enough to protect her. And that's why this whole situation feels like a turning point. Because if they don't learn, if this happens again, if Clark comes back only to get battered into another injury, fans aren't going to stick around. They'll move on. And the WNBA will go right back to empty arenas, low ratings and begging the NBA for funding. This is bigger than one player missing 2 weeks. This is a referendum on how the league treats its stars. So here's the bottom line. Caitlin Clark didn't just go down with a quad strain. She went down because the league let her get targeted. She went down because referees refused to blow the whistle. She went down because the WNBA doesn't understand the value of what it has. And now for the next 2 weeks, maybe longer, we're all about to see what the WNBA looks like without
that shows
her.
exactly how Caitlin Clark, the Golden Goose, the ratings
TV
magnet,
ratings
the woman who
won't lie.
single-handedly
And when they
saved
collapse,
women's
as they will,
basketball from
maybe then the
obscurity,
league will
got
finally
injured.
realize
And let me tell
don't
you,
build an
what we're
empire by
seeing
letting
isn't
your
just
queen get
disappointing,
attacked.
it's
You protect
downright
her at all
disgusting.
costs.
The
Because without her,
WNBA has
there
a
is no
bullying
game.
problem.